at 10 o'clock. Calling to order the Gilliam County Court meeting. This is a regular meeting of April 15th, and we're proud to say we are at the Rock Creek Community Center. I hope all of you out in Cyberland are able to hear us okay. We're using mobile Starlink, which seems to be working as it should. Welcome. Meeting's been called to order, a quorum has been established, and I have the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any additions or revisions to the agenda from the commissioners? I do have another recognition of another female from Les Rourke that came late last night. Not going to be reading it, but summarizing its contents, and it will be posted on the website. Correspondence and public comment. Individuals wishing to address the county court may do so at this time and at other times throughout the meeting. Speakers will be asked to raise their hand, be recognized by the chair, give their name and city, and limit their comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone here for public comment? Public comment? Is there any virtual public comment?
Nope.
Okay. 3.1 Audit Caselle update regarding Merina and Company. We have Brooklyn, our finance director, online to give an update of the call they had on Monday.
I think so. I think it's Brooklyn.
Okay.
Maybe it's not.
We may address that later on in the agenda. I can give a quick summary. I did not take part in the update meeting, which we're holding weekly updates with Merina and Company. I didn't take part in that, but what I learned from Brooklyn Griffith, our finance director, as well as Nathan Kammer, our treasurer, at their update meeting on Monday, that the company is making headway. They are working through bank reconciliations, and they provided a progress report based on that. I think some questions were answered for some situations that they needed answers to. So that is progressing as it should. We'll have another update, and hopefully Brooklyn Griffith can give us a more thorough update later on in the meeting. 3.2 update from waste management. Paul Wilson. Yeah, hi.
So that's quarterly on year-to-date numbers. So far, year to date, waste management, we've processed 651,335 tons in our first quarter. And host fees paid to Gilliam County so far, 1.3 million. Road maintenance fees paid to Gilliam County so far, 19,500. We're currently sitting at 0 OSHA reportables for this year. We're off to a great start. I think we're at 155 days, no loss. So we are very proud to see we in that position currently for the year. So it's a great start for us. So far, still some projects going on right now. The RNG plants have finished commissioning both plants. So they are processing and producing gas. Is being flared off right now for the work of pipeline construction to be completed. We just finished adding 16 more wells, or 11 more wells to cell 16, just to increase the gas interest and more gas. And then cell 17 construction is still in progress. So we hope to have all of the mass excavation finished by July, and then we'll hopefully be in that one. They're telling me I'll be in that one by January 11th. So, and hiring operators and drivers and laborers quite a bit lately, trying to get staffed up, and we have some potential high volumes coming towards the middle of the year, and close to the end of the year. So, right now, volumes are down a little bit. We don't have lots going on. We're coming in a lot of bread projects finished out in March. And so that's, we did 214,000 tons last month, 234 in February for a 20-day month. So that was a really good February for us. So, but I think they kind of sell a little bit. So a little bit. We're getting into that springtime when it should start picking up.
How many, like, in perfect world staff that are you guys looking, do you think? I mean, I just kind of vacancy right now, or?
Yeah, we're filling some places that have been vacated, and we have added some personnel to the night shift. Just to try to get a few extra things done at night and some more projects did. So, you know, we've had folks retire and, some folks that didn't come back from whatever personal medical issues and whatever, so we're just trying to fill those positions back up, get back in. And I'm trying to add a few, because I want to have some projects I want to get done, and so I'm trying to make sure that I have for staff to get. And the gas, you know, that infrastructure has to be maintained a lot now, a lot more than it was before. It's a lot more process, so there's a lot of work. Keeping that up. So, yeah, adding this position, I don't think it's a perfect staffing number for us, the volume fluctuates so much.
Sure.
So much, so when it goes down a little bit, it need that opportunity to get those extra products done, and things taken care of, that all of a sudden everybody's swamping and just making sure the garbage is going away. So, yeah.
I had one, the tour I had with some people from,
County Commission.
county, yeah. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyway, they were surprised at the size and everything, the operation. But the question I couldn't answer, and I was going to follow up with them. The old burners that were burning the methane gas, are any of those are those being used now, or are they shut down?
They completely off, and the RNG plant takes the gas.
Okay.
So, but they're there, so that's where the gas is going. It's already flared off. So now when the RNG plant turns on, both of them turn on, they take all of that gas to the plant.
So those still are in production.
They're still
Okay,
there, but
Yeah.
they're not on because the gas, keep my state of gas.
Okay.
So whatever gas they need, they flare on because you don't have.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't know if those were
Yeah.
still being.
Yeah, so there's a backup because the plants have to do maintenance, so if they shut down and the gas goes back to flare and. You kind of a little bit of shelving sometimes.
Cool.
Okay.
Were additional positions added for the gas plant?
Yes,
Okay.
we did add, we had two full-time gas techs. Once the RNG plant came on, we added, 5 for gas techs with that infrastructure. There's a lot of wells we need, this tubing, to keep the gas flowing the right way. Additions and subtractions and getting water out of the valves. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
And do we know how long till the pipelines function?
I'm hearing sometime end of May,
Okay.
but that's the last I heard, you know, that we're getting close to being able to do, getting things with the pressure test and then boring underneath the railroad, the highway, there, Cedar Springs. They're really close to having all of that finalized, be able to get that done, so. It's been a lot of work with UP with their permits to get underneath the tracks, and so they've been seeing a few emails come through that where they're getting that finalized. So I think that's the last place they have. I think everything else is except for the tie-in is the main line, and then this boring, and then tie into the plant is all the churches. Get close.
Yeah.
Closer would be better, but
Yes.
get close.
So the 1.3 million in post fee, that's through what months?
The first quarter.
First quarter. Is that on track for typical? Or do you know? Check that.
Well, I think it is. I think it's close. I want to say it's a little less last year, first quarter. I do know our tons were a little bit less year first quarter, and then plus I think we had increased for this year. So
Yeah, increase in post fee. Yeah, I was just curious on how that was looking. Information.
I just wondering what the mild winter, I think
Yeah.
that's what it was at for, but.
yeah, we stayed pretty busy through the winter. Our dirt projects were really what boosted us through the winter. So and CDL can get out of it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Brooklyn's on.
Over.
Mhm.
Okay. We're going to go back then to item 3.1. We have Brooklyn Griffith who can give us an update on the Audit Caselle Marina Company progress.
Good morning. We met with Rochelle and Ginny. They are the two CPAs that are helping us through this project. We met with them Monday. It sounds like they're making good progress. They've kind of started within the bank reconciliations and the issues we were having with some of the beginning balances, and they just pointed out that they've started in some of the smaller funds and then have been able to find some common occurrences, and that then helps them solve the larger funds. So they felt confident that they were making progress, that it has been rewarding and they're finding patterns. And next Monday, I think that they are going to have something typed up and prepared for the next county court meeting. I don't have much other updates than that. If they have questions, they're like reaching out to us, but there hasn't been many questions. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you for the update.
Yeah. Yep.
Looking forward to seeing what the report was. So, good. Thank you.
I will say, where is your guys's? Wait, I can't really hear you, Chris.
Oh, you can't?
No, it's like very off distant a little bit. I don't know where your guys's owl is.
We can hear you great. We should move it up. That could be.
We could.
We're
Actually, I have another.
we're free. Thank you for saying so, because this is all experiment in this location.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We're going to stop until we plug in another external speaker. And then we're going to ask you how this is better. Brooklyn, were you able to hear the people presenting, like Paul Wilson?
Yeah.
better?
Yep. I could hear
Oh.
Paul just fine. It's really just where you are at there, Chris, but I just read a comment from someone else in the chat and they said they can hear everyone just fine. So sounds like it's good.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 3.3, email from Lance Ward. We have an email from Mr. Ward, and this is regarding the planning director position. It is in your packet and it's also online. We will have an update on the planning director position later in the agenda. Additionally, Mr. Ward late last evening sent an email, which is not included in the packet, but it will be posted online and make sure everybody receives that. That just said that thank you for having the meeting here. He wasn't able to attend, but suggested that the people in the area receive an invitation in the future. So thank you, Mr. Ward. Moving on to 4.0, consent agenda. 4.1, we have consider reappointment of Gilliam County Relief Committee member. 4.2, consider approval of county assessment function funding assessment grant application for 2026, 2027. And 4.3, consider approval of regular meeting minutes from April 1st, 2026. You have all of those materials in your packet. Are there any questions regarding the consent? I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second motion.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Do we have any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to 5.0, unfinished business. 5.1, update on planning director recruitment. On Monday, we held interviews. We interviewed 4 individuals. We should have an answer regarding the selection within probably by Monday, isn't that correct, on the train?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to be reaching out to all the applicants on the end of this week because we let them know that's when they hear some. So we had a very promising turnout. So I'm very hopeful with the future of the planning. 6.0, new business. 6.1, consider approval of grant submittal request form and grant agreement for wolf prevention measure funds. I didn't talk to you about this, Anya, but would you be able to address this?
Sure. The Wolf Committee met in January and in February and decided to request $16,000 in preventative measures grant funds. We could not apply for depredation funds because we have not had a depredation in the county. We received $6,177. And we met last night and got some really great information from Dean Robinson, was that his name? Dean Robinson, who is on the Mora County Wolf Committee. And he gave us some insight into the process of how ranchers could apply for the grant funds, the timing of providing those funds, how you make a decision, all that kind of stuff. So now it's up to me to come up with some forms, and we will meet, I think, in July to discuss the next steps for process. And I believe, did the county court or did the budget committee have some funds in there, extra funds for preventative measures? Is that
We actually approved the grant amount.
the grant amount? Okay, 6177. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So next step is just getting the process put together for how people can apply for those funds. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But if they have a depredation this year, they would let us know, and we would apply for a depredation grant next year. We have to wait until next January to apply for depredation grant funds.
So they can't even stay with something this year?
Right. Not until next year.
Huh.
And there's not a lot of money right now. Nobody got the full amount that they asked for in a grant fund. In fact, some counties asked for $200,000 in preventative measures and got 43,000. So, yeah.
And he said the first year they did it, they only had one person apply, so, and they only had 5,000, so they gave all of it to that first person, and they figured out down the road that probably be a better process to wait till close to the end of the year and then gather all the requests and then determine how to divvy out the little $6,000, so.
Yeah, his talk was really valuable last night. Yeah. Answered all of our questions, and we had a lot for him. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because he was telling us that they actually had killed right on the other side of the Willow Creek Dam, right in Hefner.
Yep, right in town.
So kind of got the attention of the people in Willow County.
Has there been anything else in Young County that we know of?
Yeah.
They didn't report it.
He said that one of the big important things was, and I think he said stress this to ranchers, was to preserve the carcass, like put a tarp over the carcass.
Like a crime scene, he said.
So that when the ODF and W comes out, then, you know, it's haven't had other
things
critters eating on it, yeah. So,
That's interesting.
not approved.
That's good information.
Yeah, and I think some of the ones he talked about in Morrow County, they actually had to skin the cow to see the damage underneath the hide to determine whether it was a wolf or not.
Oh, wow.
Cause from what he said, they bite so hard that sometimes that doesn't really show up on the outside, but when you go back underneath, you can see the extensive bruising and stuff, so. It was really interesting. We were like, okay, we're inviting you back. But they started in 2017, And they were basically like us, they didn't really know
Yeah.
what they were doing, and so having that resource for us is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's been a little, just feeling our way through this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Anya's done a tremendous job of
Thank you.
looking into the,
It's been interesting,
Thank you.
learning a lot. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing. Hmm.
it's a good group.
It is. I agree.
Right. We do have on gave us a summary, we do have a proposed motion. And that is under item 6.
I'll move to approve the grant submittal request as presented.
I'll second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the grant submittal request for prevention measures. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 6.2, consider approval of 5 right-of-way agreements for glass roofs construction. Do we have anybody on the line from the road department?
I don't think so.
Okay. We were curious the
No.
basis of these. They,
They're the
I wasn't.
moving.
Really, I see here, it looks like they're just pulling it through existing conduit,
Mhm.
so. They're not,
All right. All right, is there any comments, discussion? Are we ready for a motion?
everybody's ready now.
Yeah.
I move to approve the right-of-way applications from Glass Roots Construction as presented.
Second. Then moved and seconded to approve the right-of-way application for Blackbird Construction as presented. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Right, item 6.3, discuss litter patrol. This has been something that's been an ongoing concern in the area, particularly the freeway that we have in our county, and the off ramps are getting worse and worse and worse. And also they're responsible for the county roads and any litter on the county roads. There are some parts of the county that are very good, particularly those that are under the conditional use and with waste management is well maintained and clean. However, the freeways are just the freeways themselves, which is not in our jurisdiction. That's state highway department. And then the off ramps, and I just wanted to open up a discussion about what we can do. We held our budget committee meeting Monday, and in the economic enhancement ordinance, we're proposing some funds for litter patrol, which I've had discussions with our juvenile department to see if there's a way that we could utilize our youth to pick up some trash. It's done in Sherman County under the juvenile department. I asked juvenile director Amy Nation to reach out to Sherman County to see how that program's set up, just to get something going. But we need to do more than just that. We need to figure out, we need to create some public campaigning. This is truck traffic and freeway traffic that's causing the offer. You know, it's not our people doing this, but it's a reflection on us. It's a reflection on the beautification of our community. We have to figure out what we can do together to solve this.
Is it mostly Blaylock and Philippi Canyon or the,
And also Willow Creek, yeah. All three are.
That's right from the bottom.
We looked at Willow Creek when we went through there, and went and turned around at the, there's a marker on Highway 74. When you turn around, you can see a lot that's just been thrown off there. It's just something we can't ignore. We need to work on it. So
Philippi is actually worse than Blaylock, if you can imagine that. I think there's more trucks that belong to Philippi. And They're both of them are just disgusting.
Wrong number, you got?
And other stuff,
Biohazard.
biohazard, lots of biohazard. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just really sad that
Mhm.
people think they can just do that. They do.
It's entire bags too. It's
Oh,
not just single things out of it, it's like a garbage sack that somebody had been collecting and then they choose to leave it. And they give it around the corner of Blaylock too, not just at the stop sign, they pull a little
Oh,
bit more obscure and then.
So in cases of that, like that, there can be, you know, there's receipts and things in those bags.
If you wanna
It
look.
could be identification of who's doing it, I mean,
Right.
patrolling, positive campaigning, grassroots efforts of the people in our area who are just want to help. I will help on Blaylock. You know, Marty said she'll help. on
Yeah,
Blaylock.
and Julie will help on Blaylock, and if we can, you know, I'll reach out to Scott Peters again. And
Mhm.
he had made a commitment to get us bags and pick up things and gloves and
Mhm.
that ODOT would supply those sort of things. They won't supply the work,
Mhm.
but they will supply anything that you need to do the work. And so I can reach out to Scott again and ask for that, and then the Arlington office would have that on hand for us.
Right.
And then we can maybe we'll just pick a weekend, Sunday afternoon or something and.
Yeah, and anything's better than what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to tackle it all at once, it's just
Right,
get going.
baby steps.
Yeah.
But those two, I think that Blaylock and Philippi are the two
Worst.
worst
Mhm.
than Willow Creek, but
Yeah.
I haven't pulled off at Willow Creek for a long time, so.
Mhm.
um,
Is there an online comment?
Yeah, Brittany Dark from the chamber
Okay.
said that that's an issue they've run into before, is having youth volunteering and with the biohazards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
The local ODOT, I was able to pick up yellow bags from our local ODOT office here in Condon for south of Condon. So I
Okay.
believe that they should have supplies there as well.
Right.
I was trying to recall, I thought one time at the Blaylock, possibly they put a dumpster. Has that happened, or anybody know anything about that, or
Don't. I don't. Mhm. And then, you know, there's always, you know, that's a solution, but could it lead to a problem with people but, you know, dumping their garbage there, but
throw it by it?
I don't know.
I did just,
Maybe better, so,
well, yeah, and I know the state's not gonna do it, but I was thinking maybe it possibly, I don't know, that might be just something to think about, maybe we could come up with some funds to have one
yeah.
placed there by the county. And the other thing that I did speak with, Sheriff Benford about the litter patrol.
From Norfolk,
Norfolk.
okay,
And he said, of course, they quit that with COVID.
okay,
And he said he thought it possibly could be done again. We'll have some more conversations and anyway, but I did visit with him a little bit about it, but I know the freeway, the state's not gonna do it.
no,
I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean,
yeah,
but it's bad.
it is that.
It is, it's just, you can tell that it hasn't been picked up. And I probably, the last time they had the youth was probably pre-COVID also.
Right. Mhm.
So
Yeah,
we've got 5-6 years worth of accumulation.
right.
Yeah, it's been.
And, you know, and the issue with the biohazard, we just, like I said, we need to coordinate with other litter control programs to see what they do about that, you know. So I think it's a multifaceted approach of how to solve this. One solution is that it's probably gonna solve it, we need to, even thought of, don't wanna put them small, but just because Waste Management, Gilliam County have a partnership, that maybe perhaps we could come up with an ad, we can put in paper with some sort of a slogan, keeping Gilliam County clean, message delivered from Gilliam County within,
Notes on.
okay, yeah.
We'll fix it up when.
Right. Well, yeah, and even,
Yeah.
So like the viewpoint, Paul, I think that was just state. I think there's some garbage can, right? That's not waste management. Cause I see we've got some graffiti out there too. It's just like everything is just escalating. Right. Sure.
Someone else. But that was sold, it's and hauled into us, so that's something that it's the boxes that I'm thinking I can supply them, but them picking them up sort of thing might be, an idea, but.
Right.
Was managed.
Right, you guys, yeah.
But,
Garbage cans are pretty
picking them up, paying for that transport or that sort of thing.
Yeah. Maybe we could,
Doesn't the Dallas disposal do the fairground club? Yeah.
So it might be something to add to a wrap.
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, but I mean, even they've got these wireless cameras too.
Right?
I'm like,
Enforce.
maybe you start making examples out of these people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're putting a sign up says
We
cameras.
Fine them. If we-
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know what the,
Put fine them, saying they'll be
Mhm.
fine.
Signage.
Right, I think signage is important, if they see that, that they're on camera and that they will be fine.
yeah, we're gonna hold you accountable.
We don't really want to pick it up. We don't want to continue to pick it up. We want to stop. We want it to be reduced.
Well, then that's it, put the boxes out there, you're almost inviting them to.
Yes.
Putting it in there instead of on the ground.
Right.
Maybe some of them will put it in instead of, and some will just toss it, buy it. But I still think the technology with the cameras and stuff, it's just, people might not like it, but it's like, they don't care to start with, so,
They don't care.
yeah.
Right.
So maybe that's something we can try to come up with some funds to,
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just keep the communication going. Paul, I'll be talking with you and then maybe bring back a plan and a start to this.
and I'll have some more discussion with,
Oh, good. You'll take that part with law enforcement. Right.
Kind of legal ground we stand on and how much of a fine we can.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a state statute. It's, state statute. Is it? Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, cause like, I don't even know now if Northport, I mean, maybe there's too many, the liability, I mean, I don't know.
Explore it.
The world we live in,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll follow up.
Do they still run a crew for the fairgrounds?
No, since COVID, there's been, we had it before, but since COVID, the crew is no longer the prisoner.
We're the crew.
We're the crew.
Yeah. All right, good discussion. Anybody who has any thoughts or later thoughts about it, shoot an email to the county and we will, take that information.
Yeah, I'll be on board to
Right.
help do better, so.
Good. Okay, thank you. All right. Is there any other items? This is gone quickly.
I think that Marta and them should talk about that.
Oh,
What you've been doing.
community center.
Yeah.
Up on up, so you're a little bit closer.
Ken, do you want to?
Sure. Well, we have big exciting and, big day for everyone who attended to it. I hope that maybe you'll come again.
And you are.
I'm Kim Davis. I am one of the board members along with Marta Michaelo and J.R. Davis. And we've had the 501c3 now for certified for a year. We had a nice meeting, as you all know, from last March that really showed the community support for this. And as soon as we started opening the doors more and letting people know what the plans were to shore up the windows, the plumbing upgrades, some roofing repairs and some other pieces, it just got everyone talking and remembering and thinking about memories they had at the schoolhouse and others who wanted to make memories here. And I'd say since we started those efforts, there was a tea party last September, and then since that tea party, there's been at least one event every month. So there were some private rentals for dinners. There was a significant birthday party in the wintertime. There was a company that rented it for a business dinner. Prom is happening this weekend. Arlington High School will be coming out, Thursday, Friday to decorate. And so there's been a lot of requests for, different uses. And so that is exciting, and people have come from, multiple counties. So the Tea Party is an example where 50 people attended, some coming from Portland, Hefner, Hermiston, a lot of them having had a connection to the place, some, being new residents. So we're getting a lot of comments too. We participated at the fair, we'll have a booth again, and people just realizing that's available. Homeschooling organization from Hermiston with several families came, and it was just an idyllic setting for them. They did a Read Across America event, where each teacher, homeschool teacher, set up a table with a specific book to read. Then the kids had a corresponding activity. And it just it was really exciting. Kids back in the building, but also play equipment, and the line dancing happened, and crafts and reading, and so that's exciting. I think people are seeing all kinds of potential and imagining what they could do here, from private parties to community events. So I think this is another great example of location is beautiful. Meeting a county is not quite a halfway point, but a nice way for others to understand that how this building could be used. In terms of renovations, in order to the capital grants from the county that we applied for, Marty did a lot of the labor there to get a lot of the estimates, so that for the line item budget together, and now it's circling back. So the plumbing has happened, the plumbing repair, I think it was around $5,000 to $6,000 repair to add a wash sink again, to add hot water. This building hadn't had hot water for a while. So that runs both to the kitchen sink and to the wash sink now, and now both bathrooms are up and running, and they've been upgraded with the PEX piping. So there's some improvements there. JR will have more of an update, but we've gone through and done another round to get a couple more proposals for the windows. The first bids came in with a suggestion of vinyl windows, but the research that we've all been doing for building this old, and how long the wood windows have lasted, and how they provide insulating for us. The vinyl windows, there's definitely some efficiency ratings, but you're dealing with vinyl on the outside, and this can heat up faster than the windows. So the windows absorb a lot of the wood frame absorbs a lot of the cold and a lot of the heat. So as we dig into the building of this age, while the wood windows are a little bit more expensive initially, some of the ratings for that they last longer. They require a little more maintenance on the outside with some potential repainting. But if you look again at how long these have lasted for us, and then we get better glass paint, again, with there's efficiency gained there. So JR's been working with local companies and a couple of permits to come, and that'll help us just also, they're all coming in at about roughly,
Wow, that's for buying.
so wood will be a little bit more, but
We're looking at an option where we could have wood on the outside, so it retains a little bit of vinyl on the inside, which reduces the cost of all wood. But estimated $80,000.
So,
Everything's so expensive. So they're like 580.
so do they have, trying to think of a better term, but like the bird impact? I mean, is there like a tint to it or something they can do where you don't have as many crashes into the windows, I guess what I'm trying to say.
yeah, the options for that. I also saw a building, Parks and Rec building, community center in Portland, where they did some dots on the windows that you can do in a very aesthetically pleasing way, though, that you almost don't see them, but it does help with birds if that's an issue here. Yeah, so we're getting a little more information before, we just wanted to feel really good about the final choice that we made.
Yeah, I think I like for commercial grade, it's thicker.
Yeah.
Floors. We're not gonna do floors until we get the windows done. We do have, attic work that needs to be done. We would like to paint inside and out. We did not include painting, in our ask from the county, and Kim has been pursuing other avenues, other grants, and, painting is pretty expensive. As we know, we like to do our cupola, that was not done, back 25 years ago or whenever the siding was put on. We'd like to get that taken care of. We did have a roof repair, that was into the gym, and that's been completely fixed, so that's great. So there's no more leakage happening up above. But we do have to do some work up above to fix what leaked for a long, long time. As you can see by up here, we know it's there. But it's not bad. Yay. Once we got the leak fixed, it's not bad, so,
And then, yeah, the community's been very generous. Their alumni have been sending in checks, so money coming in also from other states, other communities. So there was a bit of a campaign just with us talking more in the newspapers, written a couple of articles, so people have donated that way. We did recently do a fundraiser of a raffle where we had a couple of different prize packages, and that did bring, it was our first one, so it did bring in $1,700 from that. And we've got the bottle drop, the Oregon bottle drop connection, and right now it's first month, so if you don't donate a bag of cans, we get a % match. Plus people can donate from their individual accounts, just transfer money to the Rock Creek Community Center. So there are a number of other things where we have some money just kind of coming in passively as well, and attended some grant workshops through the Oregon Cultural Trust, and there are many that we can go after that are both for some additional capital improvements that Marta mentions, but also any additional operating expenses. The one thing that we haven't taken care of yet is in any kind of insurance. So that's but anybody who rents covers that with they either get a day rental insurance, or they're covered through whatever organization they're affiliated with. So that's just a few more pieces, but otherwise our expenses to run the place are fairly low, and which we're keeping the rental fee very accessible so that it's not a barrier to use, but it just helps offset it. Yeah.
So I would keep in mind too, that we have organizations that use our special project. I think the South End or North End has quite a bit of money in their special project. And for instance, like the Education Foundation, we don't give them money for prizes and stuff, but we will reimburse them for food costs. So when they have fundraisers, they make more money off of their meals.
So that would be on the Gilliam website.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And I think those grants are, and I think, for instance, the International Club uses it for their fundraisers. And so they get reimbursed for costs of different fundraisers. So,
Great. Just want to say that historic preservation is something that we should all care about. It's something I care about. These buildings will all be gone if we don't work to save them. My lifetime, she's been almost 60 years. I think you just see year after year buildings that aren't preserved, but they're just in the ground. So there's value in this and importance in it. So thank you for your work. It sounds like very lucky to have your board working on this. People really care and know what they're doing. Thank you.
And there's another piece to it that is shoring up the building is step one, but we would love to, the school did close in the mid-60s, so there are still some we've got the alumni in their 70s, 80s, and some 90s. There's another piece of it is capturing some of that history and documenting it a little bit better. So there's a possibility to pursue some grant funds for that from the state that helps with that archival piece of that aspect. And so
what year was this down?
1912.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's two pieces to it. So there's the original school, and it's a 2-room schoolhouse because this piece was brought over when Lower Rock Creek or this school moved. So they expanded, and the piece that's missing is there used to be an on-site residence for the teacher. So it used to sit you can see the picture on the bulletin board, but yeah.
and the gym was added in 1955. So we're not really sure when the extra building, it's in the thirties, I think, maybe, that this part was added. And it used to be here, there was just a door, it wasn't this great big one, it was just like a door that just, a regular door size was between the two buildings, or when I was here. And then it was opened up sometime after that, after I was out of school.
So it was only originally that little part,
It was over there, and then this was added in probably the thirties, and then the gym was added in 1955.
And so while we've just got the 501c3 certification for the last year, there's been a lot of community members, including our grandparents, Marta's mother and family, that this has been used as a community center for years, as you all know. At the meeting, there were so many weddings that have happened here, and wedding receptions and events like that. So it has served as a community center, and it was certified with the state, registered with the state as a nonprofit, but we did that extra work to be able to go for the historic, some of the building preservations. Will allow us to do more.
What was the last year operated for the school?
65.
65.
Well, 65, 66.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Cool. Yeah, the school year 65, 66 is when it was the last school.
Wow.
It was just a great school then.
It was fifth grade school, 1 through 8. Yeah, it's always been 1 through 8. And I'm guessing, now my mom went to school here, but then she went to high school in Portland, so I don't know. I'm not sure how the kids must have gone, that's Kay and Jack. If they went to Arlington after the 8th grade. I think they probably did like Oleg's.
And so that's an example of some of the history we wanted. We've got a good timeline going and we're picking some of the pieces, but the common paper just ran in the days of yore a few weeks ago, that 75 years ago, when Francie Morris and her brother needed to come to school, the road was washed out. It was in the winter. And so their father, Virgil, actually landed the plane in the Davis Ranch, our ranch behind where the alfalfa field would be. So the paper only had the one sentence that said, roads were washed out, 2 kids took a plane to get to Rock Creek grade school. So I was like, oh, I need the last there. Now I've got so many questions. Well, who was the plane? Who was the pilot? So this week, Kay Westfield and the rest of the story, she goes, of course I remember that. It was quite a sight, the snow on the ground. And then she said it was Virgil, their father. This was right after World War II, so this would have been like 1946. And that he was part of an organization that was called Flying Farmers. And then I looked it up and find all the information, but it was a way to help farmers do some aerial surveying of their fence line, their cattle, their crops. And so she said he landed the plane quite often, not just when the road was washed out. So the old Rock School had kids coming to school via airplanes.
right? Good kids were down like, dang.
So thank you again for choosing this center for your meeting.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. Welcome.
Getting update.
Yeah.
Very much appreciated. The next meeting of the Gilliam County Court is May 6, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m. at the Gilliam County Courthouse in Condon. Do we have commissioner comments, updates?
We had our full committee meeting last night, which we covered already, and then I'm planning on sitting through the battery storage thing tomorrow, so.
You'll give us an update.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that available, Zoom, you know?
Yes, I think it is. I will ask him if they're recording it and if it can be available.
That would be
Because
good.
you got Court meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, it's renewable energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Renewable Northwest is
Yeah.
putting it on.
Yeah, I think you need to see.
I'll ask him about it tomorrow.
Great.
Yeah, another thing, just, one quick comment on the Cedar Springs project we're working on. I was talking to Dewey yesterday or day before. Anyway, he made a comment about the floodplain FEMA. It sounds like a big deal. It's just something we got to more work with. Dewey says we got to put more coals in. So he's on Andy, and we're still trying to drive this as hard as we can, fast as we can.
It doesn't mean it's gonna stop, maybe It's
No,
just a challenge.
no, it's just, so, anyway, and he communicated to me that he's like, Andy, I need that physical location of everything so we can,
Right.
get the process going and get the land, like I said. Norcore tomorrow, budget meeting, looked like the budget was down a little bit, but, I'll give a report at our next meeting. And that's something else, but I forgot.
What about the legal description so we can get this?
That's what he's driving Andy to get that to us, so we can get that to, council. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right.
So, with your tour over in Sherman County, the meeting that.
Oh.
Yeah, that might be, we should.
I thought I talked about that, maybe not. Yeah, it was with,
I think it was, our meeting was before you were going.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Was it
I got my dates mixed up. Yeah, it was interesting to see, that was their largest pump compressor station of the pipeline that's there.
Okay.
And I know Judge DeBosco said that, I guess that pipeline used to be their number one tax. Well, but it's third now. But, it's pretty significant, it sounds like, but yeah, it was, interesting to say the least. They have 2 pipelines, which I did not know, but, they're getting close to wanting to max them out too. One line is, but,
So is that the same pipeline that runs through Gilliam County?
yes,
So there is 2 pipelines. that
Yes.
go side by-
yeah, and he told me the sizes, I don't know, sizes, but the original one is maxed out and the other one hasn't, but,
The name of the pipeline, is there a name?
uh,
You know?
I don't
Yeah.
know, is it the same building thing?
If you don't, that's fine.
yeah.
But they said down there at that, was it at the Korea meeting last year, they said those pipelines were pumping at 120%, both of them. Going to Portland.
Oh, the other ones, I think they're talking another lake that comes down in there. This comes down from Canada through Spokane, Hermiston, across here and down south, but there is another lake.
Because it goes through just north of Condon.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, the cost to run something over is, because we have a city there pretty close. Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's all he would say. He said, I think they run into that a lot where there's just not the population to benefit what it costs to bring the natural gas in, unfortunately. But I still like to try to figure out a way to rent some from the landfill somehow.
Well,
But
there is, the one benefit is the infrastructure is there.
yeah,
You just never know what the future holds. We have an opportunity because the infrastructure is here. Perhaps, we don't know what that would mean.
Let's get it in.
Let's get the pipeline in first. Thank you. Well, that's all good. All right, so, planning director, recruitment, we worked on that this month, of course, the budget. Lots of work with, all of the finance team to get that put together. And, it's just gonna get easier and easier as we go, once everything's in the new Caselle system, which has the budget module. So that's gonna just become more seamless as we continue on. So that budget process seems to be going smoothly. We have budget committee meeting on Monday and budget committee, need that. So we'll go to the next step of budget hearing. Property sales. We held a property sale for Gilliam County tax foreclosed property under a new House Bill 2089, which is a new structure for selling foreclosed property. Sheriff sales are no longer used. So this is a process that has some requirements on minimum bid, returning proceeds to the individual who's a claimant to the last known owner of the property. So we had 11 acres on Cottonwood Road, right out of Condon, and that property sold for $85,000. That was a significant sale and potential opportunity for someone to build something there. We had a property in Lone Rock that was purchased by the city of Lone Rock, right across from the Lone Rock Community Center. And that sale went through well, we haven't closed on it, so that was sold. But the one piece of property that did not sell was the house on Port Street. It had a minimum bid, which I think, was too much for what it's gonna take to do something there, whether that's a tear down or say yeah, I can't remember the number.
Minimum bid was 44.7, I think.
Yeah, so now the process will be, the statute lays out that we have to start with 2/3 of the assessed value on the minimum bid for the first try on the sale. The next round, we advertise again for 30 days on that house, and it can be sold for taxes and fees, legal fees, taxes, court time. Realtor has to post on a multi-listing service, isn't that what it's called on it? So there's some expenses, so it'll be sold, that will be the minimum bid. And we're estimating it'll be around $10,000, maybe less. I know that taxes are 6,000, so make that a 10. If it doesn't work to sell for that, then we can do a third attempt for just selling for whatever it brings. So that's the process. And it's been a learning experience. So we may have another property coming up. There's going to potentially be an accelerated redemption process on another property that could go into foreclosure as well down the road. So that's the update on that, and that pretty much took up the last 2 weeks, those 3 things. So
PC Energy, Transcam.
oh, there you go.
I have my note there, but
Yes.
Yeah.
You need the 7 Canada.
well, yeah. And I was talking to him about the gas line. He had no idea about the gas line there. One of the, I was like, really? We have a line coming from our landfill, local landfill there.
There's been more people summer, we get that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
So-
all.
yeah. That's very cool.
One other thing I want to raise is that in the Times Journal, this people coming out there tomorrow, there's going to be the first of a 3-part series regarding Gilliam County finances. Mr. Allen was writing it. I saw a draft of the first edition. Well, one thing that stuck out to me, and I've asked questions of him, is he mentioned that $600,000. I'm going to get the email. He says, I don't know if he's done his own research on this, but I just feel I need to get ahead of this one. He says that in the article, this is the article this week, we did highlight that, this is Stephen's email to me when I asked to see the article before it was published. He sent it to me last night when it went to press. We did highlight that Hammer failed to process more than $600,000 of revenue from the Gilliam County Justice Court in 2023. I was the justice of the peace at that time. And I explained to Mr. Allen that I was a justice of the peace for 21 years, that funds are accounted at the Justice Court and turned over to the treasurer monthly by statute and audit. The funds appear on the revenue budget report, which I always track closely to determine if the court was on target for budget. I know the funds were deposited because the court writes a check to Gilliam County monthly and balances bank statements. And I just wanted to clarify, I do not want anything said about falsification or misappropriation of justice court funds, because that is not true. So I just want to make that statement, and that's all I have to say about that at this time. Okay, is there any other business that's good in the order?
Wait. I'm good.
All right, if there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.